First, we got to start off with the Thursday night game. Steelers 31, Bengals 33. I posted that short right before the game, and I'm not gonna lie, I got cooked in the comments after we lost. But hey, I'm man enough to admit I was wrong. Old Yeller turned the gun on me and said not so fast. And I gotta own up to that. I was pretty confident on the Steelers, but whenever they had Joe Flacco, that still scared me a little bit. But actually talking about the game, the defense, the whole defense was a problem because that offensive line was terrible, and we couldn't get any pressure. And it's got to be the other guys because in this whole game, Watt was double team chipped. So when that happens, Sawyer, Hegberg, Highsmith, them dudes got to get there. But it wasn't just their fault because the back end was terrible. Ramsey, JPJ, and Slay got cooked all night long. And they, honestly, if you look at their numbers, the receivers' numbers for the Bengals, you look at Chase and Higgins, their numbers could have been better because, I mean, how many pass interferences were there?
Mm-hmm.
Like that, those numbers were already bad if you're a defense, and then they could have been way worse than that. Flacco's a statue, but he had a clean pocket. And then they've run for 50 yards a game, and you can't stop their run either. Like, you can't do anything. They run the ball for 50 yards a game, and they run down your throat like that. That's just, watching the game, I looked at the offense, and I was like, hey, that offense can win you a playoff game or two. Maybe if you get a good matchup, hopefully, luckily, get to the Super Bowl. I watched that defense, and I was like, that is just not a Steelers defense. And what makes it worse is that's the highest paid defense in the league right there.
Mm.
They've gave up 33 out of 6 games. They're the highest paid defense. So that tells me if you gave up 33 out of your 6 games and you got the highest paid defense, 2 people got to take the blame there. Either the GM or the defensive coordinator, because somebody ain't doing their job.
Yeah. It seems that this Steelers team is like it's polar opposites of what it's been the past 10 years. Built on defense, offense, sustainable, not great. Then you get a really good offense, and now the defense is just falling. I think it's maybe age catching up because Slay and Ramsey really good corners in their prime. I think they can still make plays, but I think just over the course of seasons now that it just kind of wears on them. It was surprising to me, although I had Bengals covering the spread, that yeah, you all Steelers can get any type of pressure with that terrible O line for the Bengals. Yeah, like would y'all have maybe 1 or 2 sacks?
I think maybe 2. And they were late. There was nothing
Yeah.
for about 3 quarters.
Yeah, so maybe it was just one of those short weeks. Y'all just kind of sleepwalking going into Cincy. Maybe that's why y'all couldn't get as much pressure. But I mean, other than that, I think the game kind of went how I kind of expected. With the Bengals, Flacco giving them some life, and that, like I said, that was a huge game for them. They didn't want to fall to 2-5, lose 5 straight, because there's a big difference between 2-5 and 3-4. So. But I think Steelers will be fine going forward though.
Yeah.
So
I said all that in that rant just to say after that, uh, it's a Thursday night football game, and weird stuff
mhm.
happened. And if you look at Thursday night games this year, the underdogs, especially at home, have played well. So that whole rant, and I'm going to end it with I'm not like the season's not over. And then
No.
also, I'm not going to be a sore loser. I'm going to give the Bengals credit. With Joe Flacco, they look like they can make it to the playoffs.
Yeah.
And if they can make it to the playoffs and then Joe Burrow can come back, we've seen what they do in the playoffs. So I'm going to give them credit. Flacco, Jamar Chase, and T. Higgins. I got to give them dudes credit because they balled out.
Hmm.
Still don't like them. Still hate the Bengals, but I'll give them